My vulva, vulva and me. My vulva, my vulva and me. My vulva and me.
Welcome everybody to the season finale of season 3 of My Vulva and Me. We had 7 of some of the most amazing Black women in the world talk with us, playing games. We had a good old time. We got into some stuff, and this episode is going to be no different. Y'all, I've been talking to y'all about this episode for a while, and y'all already know how much of a psycho fan I am. So I will try to compose myself this episode, but this episode we have none other than the Danielle Young, the content queen, everybody for the culture amazing, like literally, like she's interviewed everybody, like literally everybody. And she made the elite list of folks who got the coveted Ivy Park box, and the way she even revealed that was just like, do the ideas stop? So everybody in your respective places, give a virtual round of applause for Danielle Young. Hey, yes. Please, please, please introduce yourself to all of our people watching.
Oh, I don't think I could do a better job than you just did. Whoa. Really? After that?
Yes, because you're so dope. And it's, I didn't even scratch the surface. Like, just tell them why you're so dope. Like, to start off with, I'm so dope because, and then just let them know.
And then just let them know. Well, I'm so dope because of God. And
first and foremost.
First and foremost, I must thank the creator. Because that's where it all lies from. That's where the light shines from. That's where everything, the energy is the whole source. But other than that, I think a lot of people think I'm amazing and dope because of my career and the things that I've been able to do in my career. As far as just, I've written for almost all the Black people's publications and media companies, and I've went through the industry as an editor, as a producer, then on-air talent, journalist, all the way through. And now I'm doing it for myself. And it has been quite the journey. We have developed real quick with Danielle Young. It was an Instagram series, now interview series, that lives on YouTube as well. And then it spiraled into the Danielle Young show after I got a Facebook content deal. Which is like, what? This is also how I would like to live my life from here on out. You heard it here. Give me all the content deals. But it allowed me, well, honestly, I could have just kept on just with real quick and funneled that through the deal. But I was like, you know what? While I'm able to have the resources, let me create something that I want to actually do and see on television. So I couple a lot of within the Danielle Young show, which was created for this purpose, I couple a lot of the things that I love. I also have a theater degree as well as my journalism degree. So I do a lot of skits. I write them myself. I produce them, and they are all comedic. Either it's a girlfriend spoof, which Mara Brockakil loved my girlfriend spoof. She was like, you had Tony Childs down. I was like,
listen, My Vulva and Me theme song is inspired by the girlfriend theme song.
See, listen, culture. Yeah. Okay. And being able to use that type of like talent all together, my writing skills and acting and storytelling and putting it all together, and then also just being a woman of my size and just unapologetically showing my body in the shape that it is. Sometimes I wear Spanx, sometimes I don't, and I'm all right with that. And just being able to also, as I was like recording a lot of my show, especially this past weekend, I recorded a couple episodes, and I do a lot on green screen because it's easy, cheaper than locations, and also we're in COVID. So it just makes it a little easier to be able to manipulate and do what you want. But I was like doing this skit where I was hiding behind this desk and like calling the police and da da da. And I'm sitting there like, yo, as a big woman, I'm here on the floor, like showing people physical, acting and things like that that are outside of the norm for someone like me. I've also realized as a part of what makes me so dope is that I'm using myself and my space to show people like me that it is fine to be like me. And it's also possible to do things that people would normally think you could do. So outside of the career, those are the ways that I feel like my dopeness shows up. And I don't want to be like, I'm more proud of that, but I also, I am, in the sense of like, that's who I am. That's my character. That's my life, which is a lot more valuable than what my career is.
Yes, that's that space of like, this is how I exist and show up in the world versus something that I'm capable of doing that some other folks assume.
But I could, and I could also include that with what I do. It doesn't have to be separate. Like if I'm walking with God, it doesn't have to be just in private. Part of my gift is the ability to even share. So I want to be able to continue to share that walk. It doesn't have to be restricted to just private, a private life. I can make that a part of the stories that I tell, the questions that I ask, the conversations that I have.
That is so, and the thing is that you do it in a way for me that is like, it's on purpose, but not, but it's on purpose and it's seamless. Because like when someone is like teaching a lesson or showing something, like you can, like even at like sitcoms, when the score, the music shifts and you can tell, here's where the life lesson is getting ready to come. You have a way of just infusing all of those key takeaways in like this way that's just like, she just gathered us, or she just poured into us, or like, oh my God, and like it's
really?
It's like when you like some type of content, it's almost like I liken it to church sometimes, where we're going to get to our game, but it's like sometimes, especially in Black churches, they talk about it, have like this stereotype where you'll go to church and like, what was the pastor preaching about? I don't know, but I had a good time, or I felt good because you shouted and did all of that. But then you go to a church that you can recall the message. It's like your content is like that. Like I feel good about it. And also if I needed to break it down, I have notes. Like there were notes to take. And like I'm better on the other side of it, either whether it's for the actual topic that you're talking about or just the excellence in which you execute it. As a content creator myself, I'm just like, oh, okay. It's like level up, sis. Like get right. And that's like, and so when we think about for the culture in this episode, Black women create culture, even like culture in the sense that we understand it of like Black womanhood or Blackness, but then also culture of excellence and like existence, like and their excellence being an inextricable part of who you are and like living your 100% truth, which is 100% of the reason why I even invite or requested that you sit with me, because it's like my role in me is to bring to the front the Black women that are doing the things so that other Black women see that Black women are doing the things. We are so often pushed in the back, marginalized, left to a specialty service or something where it's like, no, we are the voices behind all of the things that y'all love that society consumes and takes in. Somewhere, somehow, there's a Black woman in there, making it amazing. So I truly, truly thank you for that. So for this, and it's customary on my Vulva News, open with the game because I live for a good game. And so this game is like, is this or that? meets verses, meets your writer. So now you have to do like a casting agent type of thing all in one, right?
Okay.
So what I'll do is, so this is called This or That for the Culture. And I will ask you particular questions and scenarios, and you have to pick of the two options. And you only can pick one. No both, no caveats, no only if. This is a forced choice activity.
Only it. Okay.
There's a forced choice for all of my social workers out there. This is forced choice activity, where like we do in training. And so you have to pick.
Worst choices.
Yeah. So for this one, if you remember on Temptations when it says you had your last dollar, you can spend it on this record or a sandwich. So this is your last dollar. You have to buy a CD. Are you buying Jodeci or Dru Hill? Yep. 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 And we're going there all over the things like that. So prepare your heart.
Oh, that's so mean.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I think I'm gonna get Dru Hill.
Okay. Why?
Get Dru Hill.
Why? Why Dru Hill?
Why I was forced.
You asked them out. Like if
I was forced. This wasn't my choice.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll let that.
I think I love both of them so strongly, and I think probably very equally. But if I had to get it, is this like it's my last dollar, but is this like
your last CD? You're the only CD you'll ever listen to.
It's like we're out of CDs, so I don't even have access to my Spotify or anything.
Just something. Corona ate through all of the. So all you have is your Discman. We're going there. You have a Discman and this CD.
Yeah, I think I would want Dru Hill because I also know like Jodeci has upbeat ones too, but Dru Hill, like across the board, it's reliable.
Yeah.
Like even the upbeats.
Yep. I think I could agree with that. I think that for me it's similar, but Dru Hill edges out with just a bit more diversity. Like I can go over her name to thong song and still feel like.
Well, see, that's Cisco. That's just Cisco. I can't even have that CD. According to you, I can have Dru Hill.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But I think my Dru Hill would be my choice.
Beauty is her name was just Cisco?
No, Beauty is her name was Dru Hill. I thought you said thong song.
Oh, right. I mean, they got some thong song-esque music-ish. Either way, Dru Hill wins. Either way, Dru Hill wins. Okay, so here we are now. This is your last concert. Never to be gone, another concert again. Right?
So basically, it's 2019. Got it.
Correct. Correct. And Michael's still alive. Michael or Beyonce?
Sorry, Michael.
Oh.
I've been to a lot of Beyonce shows. Thank you, Lord. I really appreciate those blessings for me. But I have never been to a Michael Jackson show in all my life.
I've heard they are.
And then if given the opportunity, I'm going to go to a Michael Jackson show.
I'm probably going to see Beyonce. I love Michael, but
I love Beyonce, but it's only because I've been there. I would love to go again, but if you're bringing Michael back,
I'm still choosing Beyonce. I love you, Ronnie.
Beyonce would be there.
Probably. But we're just gonna have to do hers first, and then over or something. We got to figure it out.
Beyonce would be there. There's not a chance that Michael might not be at Beyonce's.
I don't know. Beyonce gets good shows.
No, she's an amazing show.
I might come back just to go to a Beyonce concert. He might be like, "Listen, Jesus, just give me a couple hours."
However, I hate defending these choices because you're forcing me to choose.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so, next one, Saturday morning, you're cleaning up. Patti LaBelle Anita Baker, who's
Anita
playing
Baker.
23 Years Spirit.
That's easy because that's my real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, originally when I wrote this game, it was one never existed, Patty or Aretha, but I just felt that felt like violence. So I was just
It
like,
did. I wasn't anticipating.
I felt like that felt like violence, and I was like,
I rebuke it. I rebuke it.
Okay, so you are. This is a very real possibility. The Danielle Young biopic is coming out to Lifetime, right? Next answers are from that. Your mom, Jennifer Lewis or Lynn Whitfield?
Neither. Loretta Devine.
That's not an option.
It would be Loretta Devine. Hey, mom, you know that's you, girl.
Yeah.
But Lynn Whitfield or who?
Jennifer Lewis.
Oh, Jennifer Lewis. She's nothing like my mom. She's more like my Aunt Bob. But I would, yeah. Yeah.
Jennifer, okay, cool. Okay.
Loretta Devine.
Dad, Denzel or Samuel?
Denzel.
Okay. Your husband, Idris or Kofi?
I thought you. Woo!
Oh, Ralph, specifically Ralph Angel, but like, oh my
God have mercy.
I know it's right. Lord, Lord.
There's just so many feels. So I just, wow.
I know it. I know it. Well, we like both of them.
Please, thank you. Kofi.
And he's like 12. He's very young, but
he's such a babe. But yes, that's my boo.
Also, my Ralph Angel.
Also, Idris is big married, so you know.
He very much is married. It's like we're still playing like the actors. We can still dream because it's just.
We can still dream. I mean, at a point, my husband would have to age.
And Kofi, can you imagine Kofi like aged? You know, I feel like he has the spirit of Denzel on him, so it'll like age in that way.
Yeah.
Him on GQ, like how Denzel busts out.
It'd be a great time.
Oh. So thank you for indulging me on this or that for the culture.
It was very stressful.
That was painful. I understand. But this is one of those things that I pride myself in my creativity and like the things that I enjoy. And you as well have made a life out of creativity and content in this world that lives off of that. What is the secret sauce? What is it that makes you the content queen?
Ain't no secrets or sauce. I mean, I think the sauce that anybody has, and it's the absolute pleasure and power to be themselves. Like we are uniquely us for a reason. So if there's any secret sauce for myself, it's going to be that the fact that I am me and I am leaning into that fully. And I'm just using that as the means to carry me forward. Like, because this is who I am. So I think, yeah, ain't no secret. And we all got the sauce.
And so we could just all just pick it up and show up in the world.
Yeah, pick your sauce up. I mean, not everybody's sauce is the same. Like, you know, a lot of people, we say that we all have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. It's very true, but we don't all have Beyonce's 24 hours. Different access, different vibe, different bank account, a lot of different things that are included with Beyonce's day. However, we do all have the opportunity to just be ourselves and to step into whatever that is. Not everybody has the same trajectory. Not everybody has the same goals or dreams or whatever. And so I think that it's possible for you to I feel like, I don't know, because people look at me because I'm out here.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, no, I could also just not be out here. This is just how it's going.
Mhm.
And it's not something that I'm looking for.
Mhm.
So if anything, the sauce, what am I trying to say? You're editing this, right? Okay. I was like, because I want to say what I'm trying to say. Um, but my brain is mush from this vaccine. But I think, yeah, the secret sauce is literally you being uniquely you. And a lot of people do want to replicate the things that they see or the things that they admire. And that's fine to be inspired by, but you cannot recreate and replicate what somebody's results are. And so it's up to you to like lean into whatever it is that you are here to do and what you want to do. So that sauce is in you is my main point. It's up to you to just dig into it.
The sauce is in you. That's going to be a quotable. The sauce is in
The
you.
sauce
It's
is
up
in
to
you.
you to dig into it. Come on, it's a metaphor. I love it.
Yeah,
I
like,
love it, and I do, and I resonate with it so strongly because it's like I'm a Christian sexologist, so I talk about sex and Jesus all the time. So that in and of itself puts me in a very small box. But trying to be that, like replicate what I saw sexologists doing didn't work. Trying to replicate what I saw other Christian influencers doing didn't work because the sex stuff pissed them off. The Jesus
right,
stuff didn't sit too well with them over there. So
right.
I had to figure it out. And me and Veronica, that also wasn't, you see, she's keeping Veronica.
Yeah, she's just over there.
We had to figure out Veronica the Golden White She's
Ah, she is just dressed up.
she's so cute. You gotta so.
She
Yes,
opens up.
she is
Okay.
an anytime she does open up. She's a puppet. She's
I
an
love
anytime
her.
you play
Okay.
all the puppets. She has a clitoris. She has all the parts. Yes,
Wow,
she
she
does.
better work.
And then Clara the clitoris. This is our other
Specific.
buddy. Yes. We all come to the party. And so when you walk around with vulva and clitoris puppets, you have to be comfortable with what God told you to. And so what you're saying, like just finding that sauce and digging into it and trying to not be the code switching part of being, oh, I'm a professional, so I have to talk like this. And putting all of that to the side is really what feels natural. And then again, like we were talking about earlier, like that just existence and how I get to show up in the world that I'm not trying to perform, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
do, I just get to be is really amazing. So even with when you're fully dug into your sauce and the Danielle-ness that is, what is a typical day? I know you said you were filming the other day. What is a typical content creation day look like for you?
Oh, it all looks different because this pandemic is a lot and it's been a lot to handle in this kind of space. So sometimes it don't look like nothing and I just don't pull it together. But then those days are inspiration days, and that's really great to be a creative, to make it's also a creative who makes her own schedule, is that if you have those type of days, you can make them a working day, but it can be a passive working day. So I could watch things to become inspired by. Now I'm watching Girlfriends and I'm like, I could do an episode of Girlfriends. You know what I mean? So I could have those type of moments as well. And I do think it's worth it to have those mental breaks, especially in this kind of time, like, you know, where we're sheltered in place and a lot of us aren't making a lot of like moves. Whereas like I was looking forward to when I was choosing to bet on myself early 2020, I was looking forward to like coffee shop dates and, you know, going different places to work because I live in Brooklyn, going different places to work and stuff. And even that is taken away, and that takes away for a creative, a lot of inspiration, a lot of energy. And so that has been tough to continue to like create your own schedule because people think also, oh, you do it for yourself, freedom. Sure, if you don't want to eat, but you got to have some regimented scheduling when you are working for yourself as a creative, or stuff won't get done. And so it could be any, like on any given Monday, I'm usually coming off of a weekend of pulling ideas or scripts together. And then by Monday, I have some help. So I have some assistants that do some scheduling and some editing and things for me. But I provide them with notes on interviews that I've done and that we're cutting down for my YouTube channel for real quick. And then I put out 2 episodes a week. So I make sure that my editor has that in a certain amount of time. And I'm very hands-on. I produce it. So, I make sure that all the assets are there, all the things are there. The assistants pull that, but I like place all the things together in the scripts. And then I'm also scripting towards the Danielle Young show. Whether or not I've used a weekend day to film a couple of episodes or skits, I'll break those down, apply those to my calendar, start putting scripts together, checking for interviews, doing interviews, but then also now being on the other side, saying yes to certain interviews as well to add that into my day. But also still trying to chase interviews, pitch interviews, and also just trying to do my hosting gigs and things on the side. It's a lot of emailing, a lot of scheduling, a lot of also doing lives and this and that. So any given day, it's different stuff, from production to writing to on air, across the board.
Yeah. Just saying,
it's a whirlwind.
It is, and so much more than the glitz and the glamour and all of so you get to meet the celebrities and talk to the celebrities, but the work behind getting to
you don't just, sometimes you do get just here, would you like to interview? But a lot of those times, no, especially when you jump out here and do it for yourself. I've always been attached to a brand, and a brand that usually people would want to have interviews with. So it's never been a struggle in that sense. So like now that I'm doing it on my own, having to convince people, yes, please give me Chris Rock. Yes, I deserve, and here's why. So I've put together media kits for my shows and press kits that show people, not only do I have numbers, but I have these guests, and I'm doing this for myself so that they're aware. And that usually works really well. So it's like also pitching and selling and marketing myself. There are a lot of different aspects.
Yes. And your thing is that you're doing it so well, and we are just from the outside looking in. We don't get to see all of those like back end parts. And so for folks who are watching, who are like interested in pursuing, like take in that this is not a cakewalk. It's not like how people make it.
It is not a cakewalk.
When you get the viewers and the going viral and all of those things that work. It takes work, but and you have interviewed everybody. Even like polls, like even when you better yourself, like the Danielle show real quick, and I'm just like, and she's going, and every week it's another. It's just like, how do you do it? And like honestly, you are my, like when I call my friend. So I really truly appreciate it, and then like the fact that you decided to work being in front of the camera in this way into your schedule. And so with all that you have to do to make what you do work, do you think, in what ways do you think that is impacted because you're a Black woman doing all the things?
Impacted. I know it probably is a Black woman's thing to feel like they have to do everything and do all the things and then do all the things well and make sure that all the things look great and wonderful and don't be too loud and just be just enough and all this and that. But I'm not that Black woman. I am that Black woman who had to do all the things, and I did have to do all the things in a lot of my jobs, a lot of ///. And I wasn't hired to be a ///. So I learned early, like doing all the work was what I had to do. But honestly, I'm like, that was conditioning. You know, it was conditioning for me for all the late nights and all the things that I would still have to do on my own. It wouldn't actually stop not working for this company or that company anymore. It's still going to be something that I need to like work up the muscle to do. But I don't know if it's, you know, because I'm a Black woman, if it's, you know, impacted in that way. But I think I did learn early in this little entrepreneurship journey that like I wasn't going to be able to do everything, especially in the capacity of which I was putting out stuff and just growing and wanting to do more things and needing to in order to pay the bills because unemployed and pandemic, it was like, ooh. So it was like, I have to do all the things. I have to figure out how to survive. But also I've learned to surrender in this space, not to have to say yes to everything, even if I think I need it, the gig, or I need that check, because now I have a team and I have people that I am paying. And so I feel that responsibility to make sure that they're taken care of. And then I'm like, well, I got to make sure they get paid. So I might as well say yes to this job. But I'm trying to like learn that every little thing does not have to be on my calendar. Every little thing doesn't have to be on my to-do list. It doesn't have to be on my my job list. It just, I don't have to say yes to every little thing.
And so even with your like partnerships and like the branding and things like that, if there have negotiations, do you feel, we've heard stories of like with like Monique and Netflix and like all of those things, like have you ever had spaces where you feel like brand deals are offered differently to you or partnerships to you as a Black woman than other colleagues that are not Black or not women?
I don't know for sure if anything has been different, but I could assume so. And I don't want to say too much. But you know, sometimes I'll speak hypothetically. Sometimes people get offered deals for certain companies, sign on the dotted line, and then find out that the company's like, the kind of stuff you post actually doesn't align. And so if that were to happen to someone like me, maybe if it were to happen to somebody like you, I would be like, okay, maybe it's the vaginas. Because some companies, you know how buttoned up companies can be, right? Brands and things like that. Maybe it's that. And for someone like me who doesn't do vagina talk and doesn't have vagina puppets, I'm wondering why? What's wrong with the things that I'm saying and doing? Because the things that I say and do are pretty straightforward. Black everything, uplifting Black everything, questioning white supremacy, revealing the dangerous things that come from that. And so that was kind of like maybe it's that. Maybe it's the way I defend us. And it hurts if that's the case.
Yeah, like too much pride over there. I don't know.
It hurts if that's the case. But I don't think that that's going to be something that I change.
Yeah.
If a brand can't align with that, then thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Amanda Gorman.
Yeah. Yeah, she said, no, thank you.
Because sometimes people need to see stories like that. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings, but there's not a lot of people with that much integrity in their body.
Especially not that young.
Especially not that young, especially not that Black. And not that all of us are downtrodden, waiting for somebody to hand us some millions. But that's a lot of millions to hand anybody. And if you're young and of color, you know, maybe chances are, like, she's Harvard grad and things like that, but like chances are you ain't seen the millions before.
So to be able to say,
but that puts a bug in people's heads, hopefully,
Yeah.
to say like, oh yeah, selling out is still a thing, huh?
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there are ways for you to still be able to survive and make your life happen without compromising your character
Yeah.
or your message. And my message is always going to be Black.
Oh,
And I'm not compromising that.
yes. Lisa, I'm rooting for everybody Black. And that is the, and it's like, and it's the way, again, I'll reach back to this, it's done in a way that is so authentic that even if the cameras weren't on, we can see that this is how you live your life. And so, because we've seen folks where Black pride is their hook, right? Where Black pride is the thing that they use to get in the door, but in real life, it's not a thing. But you have it coming from your pores, and we appreciate. And I really, really, it's just a joy to watch. Like it's on timelines that's just like, especially my timeline, because I have clearly what I do, just a lot of nonsense on my timeline. But then it's like that bright spot in the timeline. And it's like, and with our short attention spans, I will like, if it's an IGTV or some folks, once it gets to the end where it says you gotta click the button to get to the rest of it, I'm like, okay, I'm keep on scrolling. I like take time to really sit and take it in, and it really is inspiring to see what I'm assuming. Because when I look at you, I'm like, wow, she's really doing what she's always wanted to do. So that's my next question. I know you interviewed Oprah once, and you said, asked her, did she dream? And she said that she's living God's dream for her.
Mm.
What is God's dream for Danielle?
Listen, I have no idea. I know that Danielle doesn't dream as large as the God dream for me. But I'm slowly starting to understand that, you know, there are worldly limits to some of the dreams that I have. And it is overwhelming to dream in a way that God can dream for you. Because like, look at Oprah's life. That is overwhelming. You know what I mean? Especially knowing where she's come from. And that's an overwhelming dream to be able to live in. And I can see that for me. You know what I mean? I can see having this show that snowballs into this network, that snowballs into this lifestyle that takes over media, and it surpasses journalism. And oh, I can act too, girl. Oh, I have a production company. I can create livelihoods. Like, I see all of that for me. And God's dream for me includes so many people. You know what I mean? Like, so many people that I'm employing, my friends and my family who I just want to be able to experience things, the people that see me and are like, wow, I can do it the same way that we look at Oprah. You know, like all of those people are included in God's dream for me. And I want to be able to literally touch folks with that type of, like, not to reduce it to magic, but with that type of like tangible manifestation of like what is possible. And so yeah, that's the dream.
And you know what? It's like, it's the audacity for me. Like, yeah, I see that for me. Like, just like, of course, like
I can see.
Like, it's just like to be a Black woman having overcome and like watch, like people having to like literally watch you pivot and do this and do that and think this is going to happen and move in here, and then just when you're a public figure, it's, you still have a life, you're still a human, you still have to go through all the things that you go through, but just with people taking it all.
Right.
You know,
Right.
One of your recent interviews, you talked about being consumed, and it's just like, folks really don't understand.
Research.
But I was like, this is research, but also slightly
that's crazy.
It's slightly stalkery, but okay. But
no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you.
And just like folks don't on the other side don't really they see the glitz and the glam and all of that, but like we talked about before, the work to get it done. And so when I think about, I know this is again slightly struck on March 11th, 2020.
Wow,
You
she got dated.
posted your farewell to Essence post, right? And you said, let's check back to see where I am March 2021. We are 14 days outside of March 2021. Where are we? Where let's check.
Listen, where are we? That girl on March 11th, 2020 did not have a content deal with Facebook. That girl did not have a job, a prospect. Her unemployment was denied. Oh wait, it wasn't denied yet, but she didn't know that it was going to be denied, but it got denied. And she was out here like, oh God, there's a pandemic.
Living in a very expensive city.
Yeah, so that girl was going through a lot of things, but still, and it was in the devastation of all that, losing a gig and all, not even a gig. Calling it a gig would be to diminish it. That was a dream job.
Yeah, you were
It was a dream. Losing that was painful, but I didn't let it take me down. And so that girl is now in 2021 developed a whole new show. It's still two shows at that point, because that I didn't have real quick then either. Developed two shows, is literally pouring all of my talents into across the both of those and into those, and allowing myself to create a lane that I believe is not in existence. And it is like, it's very exciting. I feel like I'm on step one, even though I'm a year later.
Wow.
And that is so hopeful for me. It's like, wow, I've done all of this in those 365 days of complete and utter world pause and devastation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine what a girl could do with the world open.
I was about to say, when the world opens. And
so it's just, it feels like this now. I've launching pad. I feel like I'm on a launching pad.
That's amazing. And it's so amazing to think that all of that you've done, that for some folks it's like they're everything. Again, the audacity, like, oh, this is just my beginning. Oh, this whole thing.
Yeah, because that's also a testament of how small we dream compared to what God can dream.
Yeah.
It's always bigger.
Exceedingly abundantly. Like well, a lot of people always say exceedingly and abundantly, but it's exceedingly abundantly meaning far more than the abundance.
Far more, because like Lena said in an interview with me, but no, she said the dream is not the promised land. And so many of us hold on to what we think a dream is, right? And it's like, if I have that, that is it. You should never feel that way. That is a dangerous place to be in, because it can be disappointing and devastating when it's not what you think it is. And even if it is what you think it is, it can be taken from you. So you just...
It could be limiting also, because you could get there, it could be everything you wanted it to be, but there could be so much more.
There could be so much more, but you're not even able to get in there because of whatever. So the dream is not the promised land.
The dream is not promised land. The boss is in you. Just dig into it. It's like, of course I could be Oprah one day. Like all of the things is coming. Are y'all hearing? I'm supposed to be talking to the people watching, but I'm just so enthralled in what's happening here. And it's just amazing. So as we get ready to, Rabbi, I have some other questions, but I feel like we've come to like a very natural end. But one question that we do when we close out every episode is what does it mean for you to be a Black woman?
To be a Black woman. It's an honor. It's something that is so powerful and so special. Like, I feel like we were literally preordained, hand plucked to be absolutely the world's gift.
Yeah.
And we have lived up to that so fully. And we continue to like push that crown higher. And it can be daunting. It can be a lot of pressure. It can be exhausting. But there is so much glory in being a Black woman that I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I was chosen. Like if I wasn't, oh my God, I'd be so upset.
Can you imagine?
I'd be so upset. Maybe that's why they mad.
And I believe it is because we really are the bee's knees. Like,
No, it's like I know this is my demographic and I'm so partial because this is like who I am, is what I do, it's the stories I tell. But yo, Black women.
it really is. And I love that. I asked this question for every guest. And literally every guest said some form of fashion of just that. Like we are like, they acknowledge like the burden that it is to be a Black woman because we have,
it's a heavy crown.
But it's also like,
but it doesn't take away my royalty though.
I wouldn't change. Like literally on Genesis 131, God saw all that he had made and said it was very good. Black women. We started it. Like literally. Very good. We are the prototype. And then they got like watered down like as they went the other way. But
I mean, no, we continue to live up to what we're supposed to. And some of us, we struggle. But I think
and that's what makes Black women amazing, because that we know how amazing we are, but then also we got some stuff. And we working well.
The stuff, there's still so much goodness and so much grace and power, and I don't know. It's a lot of complication to all that are Black women.
Yep.
But I think, or all that is a Black woman. But I think that we are just so dynamic. So absolutely incredible and worthy. And like really like the closest thing to God.
I mean, like somebody had to say it. Because the thing is that it's like there's something on us when, like, I don't know what's been going on in my life, but lately, every time I'm on social media and I see, it's been like a whole bunch of like Black women doing something amazing and like other Black women like watching them from afar, unbeknownst to the person, and like cheering them on and stuff like that. And every time I see that, like I start kind of. There was a video of a girl. She was.
And she
was on her porch taking pictures, and they were down at the bus stop singing "Brown Skin Girl." I love us. I love us. I love women. We love us, and it really is just we had that unspoken. Then that video with I forgot the content creator's name, but she did a reel where she was in a car with herself and they weren't saying anything. She was like, girl, are you serious? And I understood the entire conversation.
Listen, let me tell you another one of them clips, the kind of clips you're talking about. This one explains Black women in a nutshell. I saw it on my feed the other day, but it was one of those compilations of somebody in trouble out in the world and everybody walks by but the Black woman. And it was this woman, young girl, young, I think maybe white. She was Caucasian looking, but she had on some white pants and period in the back of her pant. Yeah. And everybody saw it and just kept moving. These Black girls saw it. She takes her own stuff off, ties it around the girl, tells the girl, because people weren't even telling the girl. Like, you didn't even have to help her. You could just tell her. Right. But people weren't even telling. So just to see, like, this is the epitome of a Black woman. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to help you figure it out, sis. This is not my responsibility, but I'm here for you.
Take chills, like literally. Like that,
Yeah,
like
and it actually made me tear up, and it was one of those like, just a heartwarming video, but like still. And no, not every Black woman is gonna stop and help, but it is a consensus
yeah,
that nurturing
yeah.
is not my job, but
Right.
somebody needs to take care of you.
Somebody needs to do it. Yeah. And it's one of those things where Black women are not a monolith for sure, but there are certain things that tethers us together. And
Yeah,
that's what you're just talking about. Are one of those, it is one of those times. And then it's just like anything that we do has a little something extra on it. We can do the same thing as someone else, and you'll be able to, like, if we watch the videos of kids dancing and it's like mixed, and you see the little Black girl over there, like, I mean, and this is like, which is the reason why My Vulva and Me was created, which is the reason why we wrote the anthology, to tell all of our stories. And volume 2, which we just announced, is going to be called Dear Little Black Girl, Letters to Our Daughters, so that we can have these conversations now with the babies before they get out in the world, so that they don't have to go through what some of us went through, of not having their role model, not having someone to turn, not having their questions answered. They'll have just to be one of those things where they can turn to as a resource. It's like, hey, it's good to be a Black woman. It's good to be a Black girl. It's amazing, actually. And here are all the things. There are no limitations to what I can do, how much I can dream, no matter what I look like, no matter what I've been through, I can still do, and I can still show up, and I can do dope while I do.
right.
So I want to thank you so. I really wish, like, I mean, because like Brooklyn is around the corner. I'm in Philly. Like, what is this? Like, social distance. Like, one day. That's what.
Listen.
One day. And I want to
Love
thank
it.
you, like, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, that you didn't have to do this, and you did it, and I really, really appreciate it. So just let everyone know again, who you are, where they can stay in connection with you, and where they can find you, and what you have going on that they can support.
Got you. Okay, so I'm Danielle Young again, and I'm a journalist, host, writer, on air, talent, producer, comedic relief, Blue Ivy's best friend, and the content queen. And you can find me at thedanielleyoung.com. That's like my site. It has everything, but you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Danielle Young TV. Please subscribe, watch some of the interviews, like them, share them, get the girls' views up, and then make sure that you're engaged on my social media. On Twitter, I'm Rapsodani. That's RHAPSODANI. And then on Facebook, you can follow the show, The Danielle Young Show, on the same name. That's facebook.com/Rapsodani, RHAPSODANI. And then finally on Instagram as well, which is where I spend most of my social time, at the Danielle Young. And you'll be able to see real quick, like, social clips, little short, really good moments from the interviews. You can see the full Danielle Young Show episodes on Instagram TV. You might catch me live. So yeah, just engage with your girl. And I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much, Brittany. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again. And is your Ask Me Anything, did that just happen, or
it just happened last night? I didn't post it because I felt it was very intimate, and those who needed to be there were there. And plus I had drank a whole glass of wine, like from the top to the bottom. And she was getting saucy throughout, and people were shooting their shots in the comments. A lot was happening.
But is that going to be something that's going to happen again?
Yes, I will be doing those every month, because I realized that there's a lot of questions in there. I do not get to them all. And I was like, wow, people really have a lot of questions. And it also just helps us reset and reconnect. And sometimes people don't see me in their feed. They don't know what I'm up to. So it's just a good little reset moment, and help people see what we have coming up, what we're working on over here.
So if y'all, I'm not even going to say, if because you are now in love with
we hope she tired, y'all. She is exhausted.
So because you now love her, make sure you are connected with her on all the things. And if you have questions for her, catch her next ask me anything and stay connected with her on her social. As she said, I'll make sure all of the information is down below. So you'll be able to just click, so you have no excuses. All right. So thank you very much. And season 3 was amazing. And that's all. See you next season. Bye.
My vulva.